Hello and welcome to Mobility for the Desk Worker. So this is for anyone who has a job where you have to sit at your computer desk for 5 to 8 hours, 6 days a week, however long it is. This is for you. And when I tell my clients to take intentional movement breaks, these are the intentional movements that I am talking about. So let's get started. You can do these in your chair. So if you're already seated, perfect. We're ready to go. We're going to start seated at the end of the chair. So my butt is kind of on the edge versus fully on the chair. So just scooch it up a little bit. Feet are firmly planted on the floor. We're going to take an inhale up and exhale, just reaching down to the floor. Just really trying to round that spine. We'll do 8 of these. Inhaling up and exhale. Reaching down. As I'm going into this extension up here, I'm really thinking about finding extension in my mid and upper back, versus getting into my lower back here. So try to keep that pelvis just right underneath the rib cage. And this extension. Wonderful. So you do 8 sets of those. That's pretty much to get your spine in flexion, extension, just training those movements. Next, we're going to go into some rotation. You're going to tee out your arms. Inhale, rotate to the right. And exhale, go ahead, bring your left arm on the outside of that right leg and just hinge. And then we come up and repeat. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Bring your right hand on the outside of this leg. Hinge forward. I'm giving my arm some tension here. So I'm pressing my knee into my arm just so I don't collapse like so. And you'll also get a better stretch here if you give yourself a little bit of resistance in that rotation reach. Eight reps of these. It's kind of like saw in Pilates, but seated. Nice. Spine should be feeling a little more open. Okay, let's get into these hips. You're going to cross your left heel, place it on the right knee here. You might be already feeling a stretch just being in this position, and that's great. Stop and stay there. Use your hand just as a little support. You can press down into the knee, and you're just going to take a few deep breaths in this position here. If you would like to incorporate movement here, you're just going to do a slight hinge forward, keeping a nice tall spine. So we want to avoid any rounding over of the spine. Just keep it nice and long as you go into these hinges. If you have very, very tight hips and your hinge is just about this much, that's okay. We are working with where we are at, and we are more concerned about progress and not perfection, right? Really hinging over. I'm thinking more belly to my thigh versus my chest to my thigh. And then you should actually feel it more in your glutes if you keep your back nice and tall. You'll do about 8 reps of these. Nice. And then you'll just switch the legs. So you'll stack your right knee over. This hip feels a little bit tighter than the other one. Inhaling here. And exhale, folding over. Inhale. And exhale, folding over. Remember, we're trying to really keep a nice tall spine. I'm just going to change my position so you can see. Nice tall spine versus rounding over. And it might decrease how much range you have, and that is okay. At least you'll be stretching in a more correct way. And if any of these stretches feel really good and you're just like, I just want to sit here for like 5 more seconds, do that. One more here. Nice. Your next one here, you're going to scoot your whole bottom on the chair just so you can feel the back. Now this chair on me kind of rests right under my shoulder blades, the bony, pointy part of my shoulder blades. You're going to take your arms out to a cactus. This is just to get some extension right in that T-spine, which is your mid-back. You're going to inhale, fold over that chair, exhale, and just round forward. Inhale, open. And exhale. Repeating that for 8 reps. I kind of had to adjust where my bottom is sitting in the chair. So as you can see, I've kind of slid a little bit further towards the edge. If you need to make that adjustment, do what you need to do, especially if you're feeling any tightness in your low back. Then scoot your butt closer to the edge of the chair when you go into this extension. Nice. Okay, the next one we're going to do is a little fold over. So you're going to lift your bottom off of the chair. And we're just going to hang here for a few deep breaths. I would say about 3 deep breaths you can take in this fold over. Inhaling. And long exhales. Another arm position you can have here is to take the hands behind the head. I have a slight bend in my knees, and that's just to get a bigger stretch in my back versus my hamstrings. So if your hamstrings are tight, you are going to want to straighten the legs completely, and you'll feel it more in your hamstrings. If you want more stretch in your back, you'll bend your knees a little bit more. And placing your hands here will also intensify the stretch. After about 3 deep breaths, you're going to take a slow roll up. Really rounding. Trying to articulate that spine. Coming up to standing. And that is your mobility for the desk worker. Flow.